and I'm facing me, and I'm making sure that I'm not facing other people, just sorting things out for myself. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream. Dr. Phil here. It's a hot day. It's a really hot day. A stinking hot day. So it's 100-ish Fahrenheit, 30, 40 centigrade. I don't even care. Once you get beyond those numbers, it all kind of merges into one, in my opinion. What I'm doing now is I am placing the phone device on here and flipping it around. As you can see, I have a wonderful, I'll show you what it is. It's just basically, yeah, basically a printer, the top of a printer. Surprise, surprise. And basically I can now just put the phone onto the glass, and now I have myself a nice little viewing. The show is on, indeed it is. Right. So the first part of this show, I think, is just because I think it was JS for Genius asked the question, how do you know when you're done with the opals? And that is actually quite a tough question. So I'm zooming in a little bit, trying to find out where this darn camera actually is. There it is. So it's sitting around here. What I'll do is I'll also just mark it out with a stick or something. So, there, mark it out there. I shouldn't have laughed so hard about that. Okay, so let me see. We'll just pop this over to here. And just what I'm basically doing is I'm putting a little viewing area. Putting a little viewing area. You're not going to see it. It's just between two boxes. Yeah, at the moment I'm currently using my own happy little phone for all of the messages, so it's popping up every now and then. It seems to be working out just fine. So the only trouble I can see with this methodology is that it's not really doing that much justice to the opal itself. I may have to raise this up a bit more, but we'll find out. Look over here. There we go. You've got no choice but to look at this thing. What are you going to do now, huh? What are you going to do? You're going to remain blurry. That's what you're going to do. Well, my phone, at least it's consistent. If I zoom right in, what do you reckon is going to happen? That's as far as it'll zoom in. Because obstinate phone, I suppose. Let me have a crack. Hello. Let's have a look at that. Let's see if that does things. That was just a shirt. Hopefully you didn't see too much awful stuff whilst I was doing that. I suddenly realised I had to bring my shirt up to do that. Okay, so there's the... Not bad. A bit better. Yeah. What I might do is I might actually put this whole thing on books. If I just lift it, raise it up a bit, it should do what I want it to do. Go figure. There is nothing here somewhere. Just something I can raise it on. This we'll do on this side. Well, yes. What I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to invest in a whole studio and stuff, but it has to be worth my while to do it. So, like, I have to be earning million, bazillion, gajillion, carillion dollarations before I do that kind of stuff. Got a digital multimeter which might actually work here. There we go. So this is all a very, very, very suave and sexy operation. Here we go. Zoom in a bit. Yes, whatever that means. Okay, so those two opal boxes are the things that okay. Yeah, okay, hang on. Whoop, there we go. Don't worry. Tomorrow I'll figure out what all your jokes mean. It's just too hot to think. Let me see. Okay, we're still just getting that tiny little bit of not in focusedness, I suppose is a good way of putting it. Can I lift it up a bit higher? I can indeed. One more lift. Yoink. And I can put this underneath the other two. Yeah, it's not a bad little one, this one. Be nice if you saw the full face though. It's very subtle opal, this one. But the point is that I'm looking for scratches. I'm not worrying too much about the... Yeah, well, I'll give you a tour of this particular opal whilst we're here. If you have a look over, I'll bring it right down so you can actually see the... So there's the colour there, right? On the other side, you can actually see that dark patch, which is only just visible, is basically essentially a gap of crystal. And if you go onto the top here, you can actually see another crystal gap just over here where my finger is. Just there. And that's where all the colour magic is going on. So if I wanted to, I could rub this down, right down to that, well, basically where the green is showing off at the moment. And I reckon I would get myself a pretty nice opal. But I don't think that that is necessarily what I want to do. I'm sorry, I'm just moving things over so I can get the light sorted out. One thing I do know, however, is that it is... You can't see very well, but I know for a fact that there are no defects on this opal. If we look below, we can actually find one which does have defects. Now, this isn't exactly for your benefit, Don, but I'll teach you anyway. In case you didn't know, look for defects on your opals. The dot there is actually where I found a scratch or a mark on the opal. And so I just put a dot on. And so what I'll be doing is I'll be taking that and I'll be rubbing the scratch away. See if you can... Yeah, there you go. You can see the scratch right there. Well, yeah, I think it always is. But remember also you are the magic as well as the defect. So I was going to show you these two as well, because there's this one here, and you'll see why I'm doing it. This one has got a defect in it, but I'm not going to bother with it, to be honest. I'm just going to move the markers up so we can see. All right, I'm not going to bother too much with this one. It's got a defect in it. The defect is relatively small, and also the opal is relatively small. If I actually get the... I've got the scale here. I know it looks enormous when I'm dealing with it in this way, but I'll just turn the scale on and I'll get a weight of the opal just so that you know. Yoink. On, it's tearing now, as in T-A-R-E, not T-E-A-R. 0.4 of a carat. So that guy, I don't know, is probably worth more than that. Yeah, it is if you sell it to an expert, and usually when you're going to be selling it to someone who knows what they're talking about, then they'll get the loop out and they'll look at it right under magnification. And to me, I think if you're expert enough to know what it looks like, you're also expert enough to fix up the issue. But, you know, it doesn't matter. So this one here is... I'm just putting my finger there for reference so that it somehow decides to focus in on it. This one here, however, that one's not really worth working on. This one is a similar weight, this opal. I'm not even going to tell you what weight it is because it doesn't really matter. Here we go. So this guy here, can you see that guy with its, that's just a, you could refer to that as a mosaic pattern. But it's bright iridescent mosaic. It is just the most amazing of opals, and it's got a blue sheen on the other side, and it's got a whole heap of stuff going on. So that guy, it's not quite the right shape. I'm going to bring it up so you can just see the shape of it. Not quite the right shape, not quite perfect in every respect. And because it's such a beautiful little opal, yeah, it's all the ends. I can't remember. Does it go the other way? Isn't it N1 that goes the other way? Hang on, I've got one of Riley's cards. I'll tell you. Keep forgetting which end it is. Oh, well, I can't find the card. It's the blackest anyway. It is the blackest. Because this is not dark, it is black. Let's have a look on the reverse side of it, just to prove it. I'll just get rid of the stuff. Oop, and drop it. I mean, it's not a show with me in it if I don't drop it. Have a look there. That's just absolutely pitch black potch, with a little bit of opal underneath as well. So that guy there, that's as good as it gets. So it's well worth shaping it up. It's well worth getting all the defects out of it. It's well worth getting it in front of an expert to value it, because that guy, I'm expecting at least 400 US just for that tiny little thing. It's that kind of thing. This guy here, this is a favorite of mine. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a particularly valuable opal, but I think it should be. Yeah, something along those lines. Look, we can horse trade if we want, but yeah, it's around that kind of price we're talking about. So yeah, tiny little thing. It'll be less than half a carat too. This guy here, beautiful little opal. Once again, there's a few little defects on there, which I've already marked out, and there's some on the sides. Pretty much all the sides, there's like a shelf on there. So what I've done is I've just marked out where all those defects are, and I will be fixing that one up. Show you something else that I've started to do. Have a look at this underside of the opal. This one I was a bit nervous about doing it properly, but you can see how there's that little notch there. It's actually quite a big notch. I've started carving notches into opals when I can remember to do it, basically, and that's just so that I can fit them into rings. I think I've mentioned it before. I think people from medieval times were doing stuff like that, so it's not a new innovation, I don't think anyway. But I thought, it'll make it easier for me, and I'm going to put it in front of a jeweler, and I'm going to say, do you think this will make it easier for you? See what they say. And if they say yes, well, I'm going to make more notched opals. I think this one's a notched one too. No, it's not. Okay. We've got this one. Has that one got a defect in it that we can see? Okay. Yep, this one here. This one here, I'm just going to try and get it under the magnification and get you seeing the light. You can only just see it. It is not very good, basically. Can I get it zoomed in further? This one here has got a lot of scratches on it. You can see it when the scratches are mostly right here. You can only just see it under my, presuming that the internet stream is going well. You only just see that. So that one needs to be just re-rubbed a bit. No amazing shenanigans need to happen here. Let's have a look at some of these other ones. I'm not going to do all of these as tests, but we'll have a look at some of them. that one here, let me have a look and see what I can see from the naked eye. Not doing too badly at the moment. If we go up to here, trying to give you an idea of what the fire looks like as well. There you go. So there's this little patch which has got some fire in it, just so you can see it. I'm going to try lifting this up again. Maybe if I lift it up again, we'll finally get some kind of clarity. I've got 2 more things to use. Rotate device, huh? No. Okay. There we go. Let's see if you are going to behave now. Perhaps, potentially. That's much better. So clean lens, nice screen, a lot of other things. Yeah, that's getting there. You can even see the reflection of the top of the lamp there. Not bad. So that's pretty much a clean one. Let's have a look and see what this guy does though, because I don't know what this one's going to do. Yeah, okay, so that's not sure you can see that in internet land, but yeah, there's definitely a scratch mark there. So that means that I've basically got to, if this is the sandpaper, I've got to go 90 degrees and just straight in like that to try and straighten it all out. So you can see this one is an interesting one. I have a suspicion that if I continue to grind it away anyway, you'll actually get some nice colour just underneath there. But there's also a technique to cutting these ones. If you cut them right, you can actually force the colour out, which is kind of cool. I'm not going to say I've perfected it yet, but I'm getting close to perfecting that technique. So this guy here is just a tiny little opal. It's not worth worrying about, but we'll see if it's got all of its ducks in a row now. Looking pretty good. I'll just stick that in an earring and not worry too much about it though. There are 2 defects in it, however, but I'm not going to worry about them. This little guy, sadly I will worry if there's a defect in this one, because it's a beautiful little opal. Maybe $100 or $200 worth of opal there. As you can see, nice and clean. The only problem is that once I take this this dopping wax off the back, it might be a bit lopsided, so I'm going to have to just even it up a bit possibly, but it should be alright. So these are all the ends of some of the runs that I've done over the times. Here's the very sad opal of mine. This is the one with the crack in it. I'll recut this one today, I think. So this has got the crack. You can barely see the crack in this Look. Let's see if I can get it to show up. There's the crack right there. So very annoying. It only started to show up when I started to polish it. I think it was always there, because if you look underneath here, you can actually see that there's actually, that line is where the crack is, and I can feel it with my thumbnail as I scrape along it. I can literally feel that crack. So what I'm going to do is as a matter of fact, I'm going to pop it off now. There we go. Off it goes. So here's our opal. Let's have a look at the reverse side of it. Just keep taking some of the dopping wax off. Just checking for any defects that can be seen here. Actually, you can see that. That could be a grinding mark. It does correspond with the crack, yeah. But it also corresponds at an angle with the crack, so that's interesting. Let's have a look at the crack side. That's okay. So this side here you can't feel anything. This side you can, and you can literally see it. As a matter of fact, you can see there's just that little divot that's taken out of it. So let's see, it's not going to break off. I'm going to have to cut that off. How terrible. So at any rate, that's a bit of work that we're going to do today. It's a bittersweet, I suppose is what you would call it. Whoop, there it goes. I'm actually happier that it came off itself because I didn't want to cut it in the wrong spot. And I can still make something of this one. Nice little opal of some description. And I've got this left. Let's have a look at it. We'll see what it's constructed like. So I've got this coloured layer. And I'm wondering whether there's actually... See, there might be a coloured layer underneath it. We'll see. Let's have a look at this one again. See if it's got... You can see it in this one. Because this... Yeah, you can see it. Look at that. Okay. So now we have a conundrum. Let me just bring this down so you can see it. Now I have a real conundrum. There is colour on both layers. So I can slice this off the top. I am so intensely curious. So place your bets now, guys. Don, do you think that I could literally cut underneath that in such a way that I can get 2 opals out of this? This will be a tough cut. I reckon it's worth having a crack. Let's go for it. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Well, we've got 2 to try with. So we'll try with the castaway, so that we don't. Well, I could carve that stone out, so the stone is not ruined, but there is a ruined section. So let's give it a go. Let's just give it a go. So moving this over here. Okay, we'll put these over onto the chopping block, so to speak. They're just down there. I wonder what the probability of success here is. Low, perhaps. Moving over. It's not late at night, so I don't have to exclude the noise. Let's pop this in over here. Jolly good and all that. Now, I'm going to have to use my other stuff as a guide because it's rather bright out here. So being able to determine stuff is not going to be easy. Zoom out, zoom out. I'm going to have to use my own account to figure this one out. I've got to get the water running soon because the sun will bash onto the camera, and then it will start to heat up. Close that. Me. View channel. It's getting warmer. There we go. Spotted. Okay, so let's go back and forward again. Got it. Brilliant. So then I'll plug the the microphone in. Sorry, I was not expecting quite to go along this path, so that's you'll hear a large number of ums and ahs as I do this. I was going to do a little bit more talking about it, and then I was just going to go and polish a few things, but I didn't expect to go into the cutting machine. Okay, so here it is. Fortunately for all of us, I think that the Opal very cinematically broke for us, so we have that to thank for us. And let's try and give you a bit more view of the bottom of it. Hopefully you've got that. Come on. It was like that, wasn't it? All of a sudden we were in business. Let my potch go. So here we go. I'm going to have to use this this thing as a measurement. That's what I've got to work with. Turning on the water. Which water is it? It's not that one. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Water on. Okay, I'm trying to keep track of this opal. We're going to have to trim it back anyway. And I'm just looking to see if there's any other evidence of cracks. And the other thing that I've got to keep track of in my own head is the fact that it could well be the trauma of the cutting that might create extra cracks. So this could be a disaster all over, just ending up just smashing everywhere. But at any rate, we'll see how things go. How's this, have you started yet, or have I hit the wrong one? Have I hit the wrong button? No. Hit the right button. Can you do this for me? Always something, isn't there? Oh, I see. So I've made a new little thing. I was going to make a little lever arrangement for it, and the lever arrangement is not there yet, but a little thing is starting to get a bit moisture down here, but because I'm holding it so firmly in the clamp, I think that it's restricting the flow of water. How's that going now? Go on, you can do it. No, wrong one. It is the wrong one. Okay, so off you go. And not that one. That one. Try that one. How are we going now? Are we happy now? We happy little Vegemites? You probably don't know that phrase, happy little Vegemite. Very Australian. And again, how's the water going? Come on, water, you can do this. It's not there again, is it? Here's that one again, right, yeah. This one, honestly, come on. Are we right now? Come on, you can do it. Yeah, that was what we in the trade referred to as an ID10T error, or an idiot error. Yeah, so there was a song, one of the ads that advertised the unpalatable spread was just these, it was in the 50s. These people in all their basically cheerleader uniforms, young kids going, we're happy little Vegemite, bright and bright can be. And so that's just gotten into the Australian vernacular. If you're not happy about something, you say, I'm not a happy little Vegemite. And that's as complicated as it's got. Because we, the Australian people, are very complex people. Right, so let's see how we go with this. I'm going to cut straight between the eyes. See how far we get. So I need to cut it on the white, not on the other side, which is just that much more irritating. There's it. Missed. There you go, that's the answer to the question, I think. The moment you try to cut it, it goes... Interesting. Let's have a look at what it looks like on the other side. I think from that little experiment, I have just determined that the risk versus the reward is just not there. So I will carefully, very, very carefully carve this off. The problem we've got here is I now know this is a live wire, this opal. It's a bomb waiting to explode. It's a metaphor waiting to be metaphorized. So I've got to be very cautious with it. What I'm doing here is I'm cutting off a piece which I noticed was there that will cause trouble later. And I think we have not been disappointed, it's just absolutely smashed up. There is still potentially a crack along there. I'm just going to have a quick look really close up. I'm going to judge that one to be a crack within the potch and not... It's healed up basically. It's filled with opal. So that's fine, sort of. I'm going very gently because I have a feeling the shock has the capacity to break anything. So look, I can actually see, I don't know if you can see it, I'll bring it up. There is actually a lot of colour just up in the middle there. Yep. I've decided he'll crack. Maybe it's not just my optimism though. I'm happy to say that this is one of these situations where the collective wisdom of everybody is necessary sometimes and maybe not even enough. I'm just worried about these edge situations. I can see little striations underneath them. I've just smoothed them out, but I think I can see evidence of a crack here again. So let me have a quick look under my eyes. It is just too hard to call. Just too hard to call. I think the best thing to do now is just to give it a tidy up and then move it to the sander and try and do most of the work with sanding rather than with diamond tipped anything. So this is going to be a slow going opal because you just can't afford anything. You can't afford to risk anything. Already slowed down the dremel as far as it'll go. Okay, so we've gotten a rough drop shape, and I'm not going to go any further on that. That's what we're going to go with. I will go and I will sand that. But what we'll do maybe before we go into any sanding is I'll have a look and see what else I've got here that's more fun to do. And indeed I have a fun one. Have a look here. This guy has got all sorts of colour going all through. It's also got all sorts of sand going all through. So I think this one will be quite fun to cut. I need to cut it across at all the sand points. I should get a texture and point out where all that is. So what I'll do is I'll say just beyond my thumb here, there's lots of colour here, just beyond my thumb. I'll try and get it to show up. But that's heaps of colour, heaps cool, it's great stuff. Here is sand, so there's colour here as well, just beyond the sand, but there is sand. So very tough to work out what to do. There is a crack here, there is sand here, there is opal here that I do not know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along this line first, just to see how deep that sand crack goes, and my intention is to cut it at an angle, assuming that that sand and that crack are somewhat confluent with each other. So hopefully we will get ourselves an opal for approximately that size, cut in half. Presuming you saw any of that. So here goes. I'm just going to cut. This opal conundrum is brought to you via Riley Gunn, in case you're interested. Okay, that went well, and I'm just seeing if I should keep this contiguous or not. I'm looking in there, crystal balling. Okay, what I'm seeing is that this layer here doesn't go all that far, to be honest. And I'm going to move the text part up because my phone nearly overheated anyway. Yeah. Okay, so we're still on crack hill, crack and Vegemite as far as my phone's concerned, so that's good. So what I'll also do is I will just carve this bit off to see what is behind here. So we've definitely got colour that side. Is that the same colour? Let's have a look. Colour there. I think it's the same colour. No, the colour's there, isn't it? Interesting. It's a good point to cut along there, so I'm going to cut down this section here now, cut that section off. So basically what we're doing is, this is not my philosophy, it is a philosophy of, it's the guy who just got 1,000 about 3 or 4 months ago, 1,000 viewers. He primarily does boulder and he will sand it when he finishes it. I'm trying to remember which one that is. Anyway, he says just cut off what is unnecessary first. So do what's necessary, basically. That was a shocker. Doesn't matter. So I've got that. Let's have a look at where we're up to now. We'll have to smooth that out, which is, that was not an ideal cut. I quite enjoy working on problem opals, even if it ends up in a bit of tragedy. So I'm just looking at this off cut that I've just cast aside. There doesn't seem to be any colour in it. I'll show it to you. Just very inexpertly carved grooves, basically. So we'll leave that for analysis later, and I will continue with this. Okay, so just so that you know, this area here is where all the fun is. So what I might do is just cut into this corner and down to this sand. So essentially I'll be carving a line roughly along here. I think I see a crack there. We're not going to worry, we're going to pretend that crack doesn't exist. So some of you might be asking, why is he cutting into perfectly good opal? Answer being, he's an idiot. But at any rate, let's see how we go here. I'm holding it lightly in my hand so it will jump out rather than break. And here's one of my issues. So this one here has got a, yeah, try and carve along this line. Now because I know that it's, yeah, doing that, I'm not too anxious to, I think I can join that line up now. Yeah, I can do that. That could have gone a lot worse, even though I've done, well, it went worse. I went along the wrong line. Dangnammit. So hard to determine sometimes. Let's just go along. No, that was a botch. Dangnammit. Fortunately for me, where it botched, there's actually some sand just in there. But man, look what I've done. I've just cut straight. That's horrible. Let me have a look in at. Okay, we've got a piece here, which is good, which avoided most of the carnage. What I might do is I might work on correcting the mistake, and then when we get to selling the opal, we're going, that's not a mistake, it's a feature. I was expecting people to comment on that, but no. They're being very polite, I suppose. Oh dear. So let me have a look. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do, I might be able to get a tiny little half carat stone out of the mistake. I'm cutting away from my eyes too, so it's very hard to make a judgment call on what's going on there. I'll cut along here too. I'll cut that sand away. There's a lot more sand to cut away, so maybe what was happening was that because there was that sand, the sand's actually easier for the blade to go into. So I reckon that as the sand appeared, it was diverting into the sand. So it was a much harder cut than I anticipated. Okay, so how's it improved our line in life? A bit. Now just straighten this up so we know exactly what we're dealing with before we go hacking any more into it. Alright, at least we know what monster we're dealing with. I might actually cut straight across, cut that entire section off, because realistically I probably would have had to cut it off anyway. Maybe we're doing okay. Maybe we're doing okay. That bit's off. Okay. I think that can be made into a gem, provided there's a bit of colour on it. I'm going to show you this piece, which is now starting to look a bit better. I'm just going to quickly look at this under the sun. Yeah, okay, what I'll quickly do is, okay, interesting. I'll just quickly carve this section off. Try not to bugger it up any further. That'd be a good idea. Now, there's a section, I'm just trying to make sure I know which sections we're dealing with. Right, so if I just smooth along here, don't agitate it any further than it needs to be. And then just smooth along here. Then smooth along here. So look what it looks like now. Okay, just so that you know, I don't think it's quite inside the shot, but the sun's coming through and there's a beautiful bit of sparkle that's showing up just about here. So I have managed to somehow rescue it. Just between you and me, guys, that was not my skill, that was luck. But I'm going to have to make you sign a confidentiality agreement to say that I'm really, really good at what I do, and everything I do is just planned. Okay? This is just your and my little secret, basically. Yeah, I agree with you. That means that I have to write out 3 contracts, right? Let's get rid of this bit. Okay. I cannot believe that I managed to rescue that part of the opal. That's just unbelievable. The Red Sea really parted for this one, I suppose. That's amazing. There we go. Okay, let's have a look quickly. Yep, okay, so there's a giant groove in there. I'm just going to, yeah, why not? Smooth to the groove. Okay, yeah, and it is rescued, somehow rescued. Got a nice little triangular cut, and I don't for the life of me know how I did it. So there you go. Amazing. I'm putting that one away. $99 subs. What? Are you joking? Let me just have a quick look. What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Oh, 976. Okay. It says 976 here. Is there something I don't know? Oh, you. Sorry, I was just being so egocentric there, wasn't I? Yeah, I figured it out, mate. I'll search you up and I think I've got a spare account. I'll use my Black Opal Market account. I'll give you a sub. It'll be quite a useless account, but you'll have it at least. I'm sure I've got a spare account somewhere, mate. Actually, I suppose what I'm going to do, just for the sake of our good friend, the Opal guy, I'm going to log out of my account on this phone, and I'm going to pop him over. So let's do that, huh? Yeah, let's do it. So, I don't know who else is watching, but you're about to see history happen. Let's see. Presuming I know how to work my own darn account. Accounts. Manage accounts. Let's go onto this one. Right. So let me just go to... let's go... Was it the Opal guy? No. The Opal man? No. Curvipedi? No. Come on. Come on, there's more than that. That's not very fun at all. Come on. Let's try Opal guy. Black Opal Direct. Black Opal Direct. Young Guns. Adult Swim. What the hell? Crystal. Black Opal Direct. Top 5s. Come on. The Opal Man. The Opal guy. I found ya. Have I subscribed? I have not. There you go. You just got yourself a subscription, my friend. Haha. Yeah. Just so that you know, it took ages to find you, so go give YouTube a good kicking. Alright, I'm going to go back into my own account now. This is just my own personal account, so it is legitimate, just so that you know. Settings, account. Going to go back into Dr. Phil. And then I'm going to go into mine. So there we go. New channel. I'm in there. Verified 100. There you go. There you are. Congratulations, my friend. You just crossed the line. Okay, let's get back to this opal cutting, shall we? Everybody else, I don't mind you just having a quick push on Opal Guy's link on his icon. If you're there, have a quick look. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to him, because that might be another 2 other accounts that be able to do it for him. And there you go, you're 102. So here's what we've got left. We've got this piece. Well, that was a bit of fun, mate. So the public persona that I've been trying to market, so to speak, has been a guy by the name of Dr. Phil with an F. That was set up by my daughter, believe it or not. She said, oh yeah, you do all this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. I used to watch YouTube on another account, and that's the one which I just did, that's what I did the Opal guys on. So these are both legitimate accounts that I've been using for various purposes, so I don't feel any sense of shame or guilt or anything. Okay, if we have a look here, we've got a nice big crack here. Now I can see that it's going back to another nice big crack. So I reckon all I need to do is just cut back a bit. So what I'll do is I'll kind of angle back like this, and hopefully we'll be able to keep that section, and it might be some precious opal as well. So this one will be still if I manage it. Alright. Now for those other people who are wondering what just went on, I made sure that Opal Guy got himself his 100 subscribers. And there's a good reason for that, because if there's anybody who has shown kindness to YouTubers on YouTube, it is the Opal Guy. I've been watching him do things for quite some time, and he's been very helpful to me. He's been very helpful to other YouTubers. So there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that he deserves his 100. Deserves 1,000, quite frankly. Just trying to figure out the best way to approach this opal. For a second I was going, maybe I should even make a double decker layout. Maybe I should. Let me have a look. Problem is that it's facing better from this angle. So maybe, okay. I'm stopping for a second and just thinking. We can put it to, well, we won't call it a vote, we'll call it a discussion. What I'll do is I'll clean off all of the sand that's on this, and whilst that's going on, let's have a talk about what to do. I could either cut it along this face, so cut it basically, cut it that way, and see if I can get 2 opals that way. Or alternately, I can cut it along this face, which is a slightly smaller face, but it's quite bright and green. And I might be able to get a couple of opals that way. It'll be a trickier cut, but maybe that's more rewarding. So I'll just clean it up, and then we'll have a brief discussion about what to do. If nobody talks, I make a decision. Okay, just carefully cut them right there. So that's that bit done. Not much joy there. So what I'll do is I'll just straighten up this bit a bit. It needs to be straightened anyway. That bit there, and then what I might try doing is just straightening a little bit along here. See what we find. This might be the face. It could be some compromise cut too. So basically kind of cut this but along an angle. That sand needs to go, so let's get rid of that. Okay, so what's that? That has to go. Radio. Regardless, that bit had to go. Look at that sand underneath. Nearly made that decision for me. Straightening it out here a bit, just to make it clear. There we go. Still some sand there. Clean that up. That might be making the decision for us actually. It might just be too sandy to go that side. But it might be too sandy to go here too. Let's have a look. Maybe there's just sand everywhere and nothing to go. Okay. Very carefully just carve along here. Then very carefully just carve along here. Come on, you can do this still. Okay, so we've now got a game of pick a face. Which face is the nicest face? Oh boy. My gut says, my friend, that this corner is going to be trouble, and I might be able to carve that corner into 2 or 3 gems and make this center section into 1 or 2 gems itself, because I see some sand that's sitting in there. So I think I'm going to cut like this. Right. One trouble over. So, to use an Americanism, this bit made it through to the primaries. Okay, let's try and... I'm very concerned about this piece. What I'll do is I'll very carefully carve into it. And I carve down a little bit. And just so you know, John, it's all part of the fun. I'm perfectly prepared to risk it, Opal, just for the entertainment of doing it. So don't worry too much. Okay, so there is another chunk of sand in there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to very gently eviscerate that sand, try and get it out of the opal, rather than just... Is that done well? Ooh, close. I'm looking at this, I'm going, it's definitely not my gut I need to worry about, it's my skill. There we go, got that out. And look at that, that was a precision cut if ever I saw it. Managed to cut it right along the piece of sand, so, wow, that was good. So what I would suggest for myself is, yeah, just for this piece, I'm literally going to rid myself of that section. It's going to be a little pointer, this guy. That section's gone, and I've got this tiny little piece of opal left that I will turn into something later on. Right, this piece is left, and it's looking pretty phantasmagorical. And I've got a red on green there. I'm just looking at it. I made the slightest of mistakes, and I think that has set the trajectory. Have I cut too far there, which means that I have to I'm going to go like so. Don't cut too thin, Bill. Well, that was some high stakes opal cutting, and once again I managed to cut right along the thing that needed to be cut. So I've got myself a tiny little pointer again. I deliberately was a bit more generous on the big opal side. That's okay. So far I've got 3 little pointers. I've got a few bigger stones sitting around here. I've got this monster to worry about yet. I've got this guy here who's still there, and I've got this guy who's just about to become a cab. Oh my god! Okay. All right. Just calm down, Phil. Just do what you need to do. Look at that. Look at that. What a beautiful little stone. What a beautiful little stone. Comes out of absolutely nowhere. Comes a beautiful stone. Come on. Finish up. You can do this. Finish on a winner. You can do it. You can do it, little stone. Look at you. Look at you. Aren't you pretty? Oh, what a good little pretty stone you are. Okay, so we haven't got a 15 carat monster or anything. We've just got this nice little subtle white stone which has got some very bright colours that are pushing through. So I cannot complain. It's a little bit bigger than your average 1 carat stone, I reckon. It might end up at 1 carat or less, but it's just set out in such a way that it's a bit flatter. And so it's got a bit more surface area, so therefore it's actually, in reality, it's not carats that matter, it's surface area that matters. So I think we've got ourselves a nice little stone here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly finish up on this one, because I don't want to make any mistakes. This is being just done too well. Can't take credit for it. It was just a few little errors that ended up compounding into this. Just accidentally cut a wrong spot, noticed that there was a really nice bright patch underneath it, then very carefully excavated around it until I got to the area where there was just this beautiful stone sitting. So what I do, oh man, you are so pretty. Look at you. Ah, you're going to make someone very happy. Alright, you made me very happy. What I might do is I might have seeing I've got a bit of beginner's luck going on here. How's everyone feeling? Yeah. So I'm just moving all of the other opal pieces. So I'll just show you the little opal pieces that we've got here. There's 4 of them. Tiny, 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 not even 0.2 of a carat. But I'll make something out of them, don't you worry. But the real winner was that other one, and we've still got this guy to play with. And this guy, let me have a look at him. Yep, we've still got plenty of usable opal on this guy. So, I'm going to push through. This will be the last stone because it's getting quite stressful cutting these things. But I will just carve through this guy over here. Once again, we've managed to just take out the right amount of sand. I tell you what, I'm going to redub this later on and say, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. And I noticed that there was like 2 mil of sand at this point here, and so I very carefully calibrated my thumb. I'm sure I can make it sound really good. There'll be a video entitled "Everyone Should Be Like Me." Subtitled by Too Big for Your Britches. Okay, so let's have a look. I might have to just carve. Yeah, there's a crack here, so that's enough to humble me, trust me. Here we go. Do you think someone's telling me something? Let me go out the back there and grab that. Oh dear. Okay, well that sandy section is gone. Let me just get rid of this piece. Let's just carve out this piece, see how deep it goes. Right. That's not going to do anyone any good, so cut that off. Well, after all that, this cut ended up getting to be more straightforward. Hopefully that sand's just going to start to melt away now. Not. Let's have a look. It's just a little bit of, what is that? There's a little bit of sand and colour. Just, I think what I'm going to have to do is just carve that off like that. Perfect, right. Now we have to just figure out which side is the best side, and if there's anything that can be turned into an asymmetrical stone or something. I think we found the side. It's this side here, probably. Cut off here. I was a bit too fast with that. If I'd have been a bit slower, I would have been able to get a better piece. It's okay, that piece is alright. So this time around, with lesson learned, I will very slowly cut it. There we go. Another pointer for me. Yay! Alright. Last cab off the rank, so to speak. Just carve from here. Start to smooth everything over. Turn them all into more acceptable shapes. From here on in, there's no more cutting off. It's all going to be grinding because I'm conserving the main opal. So look and see where the fire is coming from. Coming from this side, rightio. So this is the face side now. So I'm angling it so that a lot of the face comes in. I may have to do something about that later. Now we're getting to be more of an oval shape. Excellent. I will now carve that corner. I will now carve that corner. I will now carve that corner. Carving that corner. And that corner. Slowly shifting the focus of the stone a little bit further right than it was originally. And there we go. We've got ourselves a nice little stone. That's probably 2 carats. It's approximately the same size as the previous stone, except it's a lot bigger. So the thinking that I've got here is, oh, I don't know. I think it might be a bit ambitious, but getting 500 US for the 2 stones might be on the cards, presuming I don't mess anything up. They are sister stones after all, and you never know how they're going to tidy up too. So there we go, have a look at that. Nice little stone. And you never know, that might tidy up on the other side as well. So, beautiful little stone. There's not as much sun, so you can't see it as well. But I'll just move that on to the other cutting implements this time around. Ah, Japan hand. Turning the water off. I really need to start figuring out which one is the water for what now, because it's starting to get a little bit ridiculous. That one, or I was going to focus all of my time pretty much on polishing. I did not expect to end up doing 3 high pressure cuts. We'll go in, say hello to the birds and goodbye to everyone, I reckon. Oh, that was a bit tough. Hello guys. You are looking absolutely baked. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I've got a daughter in there, and I think we need to wipe this. That's fine. Well, I'm finishing the stream.
Alright, pull it down, let it go.
No worries. Okay, that's a hot bird. Quite stressed, but hot. But why is the camera in my face? Is what she's saying. Why is there a camera in my face? That'll be okay. Do you want to scratch? Scratchy scratch. Scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. There you go. It was a pressure cut today. Pressure cut. There's a pin just in there. Let's see if you can spot it. Want some of that action, do you, Max? You want some of the action? Don't like the phone, just want the action. There you go. Yeah. This is a good way to de-stress. Apparently, painting your animals gives you lots of oxytocin, which is good because I need it. There we go. All right. And what are you doing, Max? Yoink. And there we go. It's like a one of those games. Okay. Open the cage. Success, you have opened the cage. Unfortunately, there is a savage bird within. You are bitten. The end. Okay. Yeah, I haven't got that thing, have I? Come here. We can use this though. Nothing. This one? A little bit. There's one. Oddly enough, I think we're going to see pin feathers with Max more than with Loki. There we go. That's the thing that we got off. Piece of pin feather. Ah, okay. I think that's my cue to end the stream. So have a lovely afternoon, guys, and thank you for being with me for that most pressurizing of pressured cuts. Wish everybody, wherever they are, a happy day. Don't do what I wouldn't do. Here we go, guys. Dr. Phil out.